It seems like this isn't so ultra after all. But you want to know what is ultra right now? How much I am feeling smug. That's right everyone, Dragon Ball Super the manga chapter 59 is here, and we are starting to see something pretty unusual. It's all very well and good seeing this thing tap out during the Tournament of Power the first time, you know, when Jiren was able to outdo it, but now? Now, things are going to get a little less simple than we had expected. It isn't going to be the Goku show entirely after all, but we will get to that later on in this video. I am here to tell you that I am currently reviewing the manga of Dragon Ball Super, and have been doing so the last few months, about nearly 6 I think, whilst the anime is being cobbled together, hopefully, please. Either way, this manga is something you can easily get via Viz's Shonen Jump portal, and it is actually really good and actually quite cheap. I really recommend it. But this story has actually been quite interesting and seemingly a worthy successor to the tales of Dragon Ball Z. With the likes of Moro, we have seen a really intimidating villain with an interesting design be developed, and even though his motives have now become a little less complex than before, sometimes the basics is all you need for Dragon Ball. You just need a villain who looks evil, does evil things, and really has a good menacing smile. Chapter 59, Activated, Ultra Instinct Sign. It's quite clearly a sign that we're about to select the song. Ready with the playlist, chums. Before we start, do check out the merch store for some cool offerings with this code to make it even sweeter. Use the code SUBS to get 10% off any orders, all by going to masako.cc/store. If that's not enough, there's also the Ranch plush on pre-order, which we only have a few days left on, so again, if you want to make this little one a reality in your own home, then check out the pinned comment below for more information. And remember, we only have a few days left. We need to make this happen, or it doesn't happen at all. You can't say no to this face. Where we last left off though, in the manga, we had seen the arrival of Goku on the Earth, or what we thought was Goku at the time. This Saiyan then set about undoing all of the chaos and all the turmoil that the galactic prisoners have been trying to do, and coming to the aid of the Dragon Team, whilst also at the same time slightly undermining and cheapening all of their things that they've done, including Chaozu's sassiness and Yamcha actually doing stuff. Yeah, it doesn't really matter now in a way. But hey, what do you expect? This is Goku we're talking about. And then things got rather curious with how simple and calm Goku was being after his hurried return to Earth, and actually acknowledging Gohan's life outside of fighting. It's something that didn't feel quite right, but either way, Moro wasn't that worried and had thrown Sagambo to the figurative lions to get Goku to show off this new power that he was talking about. And that power was Ultra Instinct Sign, or Omen, or whatever you wish to choose. This was the first time that we'd seen this power since the Tournament of Power, and was the first example being shown not from Super Dragon Ball heroes, all of this being called upon relatively easily instead of being knocked out like before and happening by chance. One other little bugbear we had is that we seem to have confirmed that Roshi's old ways have returned, which leaves a sour taste in my mouth. It had been a real positive thing to see in the Universe Survival arc, Roshi changing into something better, but no, that's been negated now and he's shown no real progression. We begin this latest chapter with Goku showing off his Ultra Instinct power to Moro, like we saw in 58's last panel, only with even more epic shots. It's like we've cut back to an episode and have some fan service fluff to pad out the impact of this power for a good 30 seconds to a minute. It's typical Dragon Ball, but hey, at least this is true to the source material. But before then, we had even more hype being built up, with Shimoneka and 7-3 observing all of the Galactic Patrol recapturing their pals, them seeing what's going down on the planet, and actually confirming that 7-3, who can suck all the powers from people like we saw earlier, did make it off the planet, or at the very least, he's still alive. Perhaps that could lead to something later. We'll have to wait and see. What this is for though, this entire bit, is for the big reveal, again, which I could believe having a cool pan to reveal an orchestral crescendo, if this were in the anime, of the low-angle shot of Ultra Instinct Sign. And did you notice that that actually happens in this chapter? I mean, I couldn't really tell, it's actually kind of vague. But the one being displayed to, Moro, he's not all that fussed at seeing this power though. He is speaking somewhat like Zamasu in his surprise, or lack thereof, of a mortal having the powers of something that would usually have a blue complexion. It's kind of a little callback to that in a way, but yeah, the fight begins on the following page. We're going straight into this, with this Goku hurling all he can with the faster than light punches, which seemingly takes Moro by surprise, seemingly, before then going on the defensive. However, this feels like he's rather taking these barrages, Moro, instead of being genuinely hurt by them. If he knows this power of Ultra Instinct sign and is expecting Goku to use it, then why would he actually be that shocked? This is all an act. After that, we then lead into a move similar to what Goku in this form did to Jiren before he tapped out in that episode. You know, the one where he goes off and then flings himself at high speed, which was well animated in the anime, but then gets to be carried forward into more acrobatics instead of him losing energy right there and then. But then, we remember why this form of Ultra Instinct is inferior to the less visually impressive one, you know, the one with the silver hair. It's mainly defense-based. This is not your catch-all solution. In a way, this is kind of like the opposite of Super Saiyan Grade 3. It's super fast, but not that powerful. I mean, you can dodge, sure, but you can't hit as effectively, and so Moro presses the pause button in a way. Meanwhile, we finally get to see a fleeting shot of Vegeta after what, like, forever, on Yardrat. But he's not doing anything or preparing to leave. He just makes the comment that most Dragon Team members tend to make on the actual sidelines, only this time much further away. So, I guess this is a sign of his improvement? The spirit control? You know, he can sense energy all the way out on that planet? Which does mean he has the potential to jump in. That is, if he learnt instant transmission. Moro is now starting to show off more like all villains do. With Goku being told he can wreck this whole world without a care because the Earth Dragon Balls are around, you know, the fight continues with reckless abandon, with some more illusions which go down before getting a beam attack, and then more hurling of barrages that we typically see from this show. Again, it's being authentic Dragon Balls, so in a way, this is actually okay. One thing that is important to observe is that Moro can sense this energy of Goku's and manipulate it in a way which acts like a magnetic field. He can basically control, up to a point, where Goku goes. And whilst this is impressive and something that could overwhelm most fighters, with Goku, he kind of uses that to his advantage, which is really cool to see him actually adapting. It's another example of this. He can come up with a counter, preparing punches at high speed because Moro is sending him there, but then he gets a very Shintani-like reaction to a punch, which, if animated in that style, would look very spicy indeed. Piccolo and the gang then realize that this is the reason this power is being used. He is too quick for Moro to latch onto. He isn't trying to get the win outright. He wants to make sure that his energy doesn't get absorbed because he isn't in one spot long enough. Okay, so they're actually using this. This is not the ultimate solution. This is a good way for Goku to buy himself some time and suss out Moro's powers and techniques without the warrior being drained too soon. Also, maybe possibly allowing Vegeta to have some time to show up. It is a good move, I will say that, and it's certainly flashy for the sake of a manga panel, but when it comes to an actual fight in the real world, how do you press forward? As Jaco said, it takes away Moro's main move, but then what? Also, another indicator that this will not end well is that we are getting the Dragon Team going, yeah, Dad can win this! Yeah, Goku's got this! Yay! We're gonna win! Guys, come on, you should know this by now. By saying such things at this particular point in the story, this is not the final lap, you're gonna jinx it, and I think you will. But that being said, we then get diverted to Beerus's place, and one thing we now realise is that we see Beerus here, still in the presence of Whis. He hasn't slunk off or anything, so unless this is a projection of Beerus and some other twist, I guess our theory of Goku's real identity was wrong after all. Oh well, it was worth a punt, but I guess it wasn't accurate. It's okay to be wrong. So we are wrong here, seemingly. After Gohan's little nod to Mastered Ultra Instinct, thinking this is where it's going to go, we then get a little bit of doubt from the new trainer of Goku. Whis is wondering the same thing, whether Goku can actually get into Mastered Ultra Instinct, but we then get our answer, or not answer, from Beerus. He has a lot of doubt, and we will soon be able to tell. It's now becoming clear that there was a disadvantage to training so haphazardly. Sure, Goku could now call upon Ultra Instinct Sign, but he's not able to hold on to it for long. And Moro can guess this before being told, and then he decides to get really serious and show his true power. Once again, Dragon Ball. Really authentic, genuine Dragon Ball. He then captures Goku in a tight grip and then reveling in Goku's inability to hold the power. Realizing that Sagambo thing, him showing an act of mercy, it wasn't really mercy, it was buying time. He couldn't hold on to it for that long, to do Sagambo and then both Moro. Beerus is getting worried that Goku will just use up all of his power in one go, and not use his sign ability effectively in bits and chunks. And he's actually not that wrong to be worried. Goku then admits to us that he doesn't like being told how to handle his energy, And sure enough, Goku was holding back a little bit himself. He then goes back into his sign form without that much difficulty before the chapter ends. All in all, this chapter has sort of confirmed one of Haverock and I's theories, as well as dispelling another. Ultra Instinct is not going to be the thing that ends this battle. We are right about that, seemingly. Even though Goku's still in the fight with Moro, he hasn't been defeated per se. He isn't able to fully dominate, and instead, he is making use of the perks of Sign, that is the agility and the defensive prowess, but also he's having to deal with the lack of power by comparison, something of which Moro is now aware of, and now reveals another facet of his powers. Just because he has the ability to absorb powers doesn't mean that everything about him revolves around that technique. He can pick and choose when he absorbs powers, after he's actually won. He can just use the powers he gathers whenever he wants. I mean, it's fair enough. It's not a quick excuse or a cop-out. He has been absorbing planet essence since the last Goku-Vegeta battle, as well as probably tapping into his prisoners, siphoning off the power here or there. It does make sense, and it's only now it's been truly tested, so I will give them credit here for this. And we now know that Goku isn't going to be powering up into Mastered Ultra Instinct anytime soon. Or at least the angels aren't anticipating it. You never know, we might get, a surprise twist that really isn't that welcomed. Also, in a way, Whis and Beerus are now sort of doing what Shin used to do in the Buu saga, commenting from a sacred world around a sacred orb. Swings and roundabouts, eh? With Beerus now being present on Beerus' world and not providing Beerus with gastronomic intel, we aren't sure as to what Goku's limits are, and fortunately, we haven't been blessed with Goku getting all of the powers in one sitting, cheapening Ultra Instinct entirely, but instead, it's going to be a gradual increase. That's good. What this could also mean is that Vegeta will step in and at least assist Goku in getting the win, as I mused earlier in the review. With Vegeta getting the hits in, the physical ones, and Goku distracting Moro with the agility, those two could finally put a feather in the cap of working together without having to use Gogeta to literally work together as a fusion. In any case, this was great to see Goku progress with his Ultra Instinct skill tree, as well as revealing to us that this is as far as he can go for the moment. There's no surprise reveals that are coming up that aren't really surprises, if you know what I mean. There has to be something or someone coming along in the future to either hinder Moro or help Goku. Whatever it is, we will find out next month. So what do you guys think of Chapter 59? Has this gotten you curious for what is to come next, or are you feeling that, oh okay, this is going to get predictable, Goku's going to get the win? Vote now up top, and I shall see you next month for Chapter 60. Until then guys, catch you later!